During the college entrance exam, I deliberately got every bonus question right, all just to make sure I'd be placed far away from the school beauty Ella. When we walked out of the exam hall, Ella's crew came at me with their usual mockery. Jack, Ella says she didn't do well. This afternoon you'd better turn in a blank paper, or you'll never get another chance to grovel at her feet. The whole group burst out laughing. I looked at Ella, her expression dripping with disgust, nodded and said, "Got it." But inside I thought, whoever wants to be her lapdog, go ahead, I'm done. I turned around and called our family butler right then and there, cut off every penny of support we'd been giving their family, and had them thrown out on the street. Ella called me 99 times in a fury. I didn't pick up a single one. Panicking now, are we? Where was all this energy before? In my past life, I was the son of the wealthiest man in the country, and yet I had groveled at the feet of my own family's driver's daughter. To marry her, I signed over the company my father had left me, right into her hands. She spent my money freely, while falling in love with someone else. She spoiled her boyfriend, rotten, treating him like her precious little pet, while she ran me like a servant. On her wedding day, I called her, asking to borrow a little money for medical treatment. She said coldly, "These years of you clinging to me have been nothing but a nightmare. Jack, do us all a favor and get yourself reborn." As I lay dying, I finally saw the woman holding me and understood. The elite heiress I had once rejected had been waiting for me all along. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself back in senior year of high school. That year I had dozed off slumped over my desk when Ella shook me awake. "Ryan's stomach is acting up. Go buy him some antacids, then grab lunch from the cafeteria. Load up on the meat, he's too skinny, he needs to eat more." Ryan was slouched at his desk, surrounded by a crowd fussing over him like he was royalty. Everyone was fawning over his stomachache, and of course, no one cared more than Ella. And I was Ella's brainless lapdog, dozing through class every day, spending every break fetching her food, buying her drinks, running her errands. Now that I knew I'd been reborn, looking at Ella's face only made me want to laugh. Who does she think she was, treating me like dirt? Seeing me just standing there, Ella snapped, "What are you spacing out for? Go and make it quick." She walked over to Ryan, and gently patted his back. Ryan glanced over at me, and said to Ella, "It's not right to send Jack, I'll go myself." "What's the big deal? He loves doing this stuff. If I didn't ask him he'd be upset, right Jack?" She looked at me. I forced a thin smile, said nothing and headed to the cafeteria. This time I lined up and got 2 full meals. A classmate nearby spotted me and let out a little laugh. "Fetching lunch for the queen again? She likes Ryan, you know, someone on her level, not a nobody like you," I asked flatly. "What do you mean a nobody?" They sneered. "You're a servant's son, riding to school with her every day and thinking you can actually marry her. Wake up, a guy as dumb and useless as you. You'll spend your life as her family's servant, doing her laundry, sweeping her floors, changing her kids' diapers." I let out a bitter laugh. "Ella told you I'm a servant's son? I had liked her, that was the only reason. I'd let her ride in my private car to school every single day. But somehow, in everyone else's eyes, Ella had become the wealthy heiress, and I had become the servant's son." Seeing me ask such a question, the other person rolls their eyes at me. "Whatever, just get her lunch back there before it goes cold." They laughed again. The people around me joined in, laughing at the lapdog, laughing at the fool who dared to dream. The bell rang. Jack walked out of the cafeteria. But I didn't go back to class. I sat down by the flower bed, and ate both meals myself. I couldn't even remember the last time I'd had a proper meal. Without money, decent food was out of the question. Every time, I'd wait until the market was closing, and pick through the vegetables others had left behind. Meat was nothing but a fantasy. Finishing both plates barely took the edge off the hunger. When I got back to class, the first bell had already rung. Ella looked up and snapped, "Why are you only just getting back? Where's the medicine?" "What medicine?" I looked at her flatly. Gone was every trace of the warmth I used to show her. Ella stared at me speechless. "The antacids for Ryan. I told you his stomach was hurting. Are you deaf? You can't even handle one simple thing?" I glanced at Ryan, who did look pale. "What exactly is Ryan to me? Why should I be buying him anything?" Ryan's family wasn't well off, but ever since he and Ella got close, she had been lavishing attention on him. Every time my father gave me something nice, Ella would take it straight to Ryan. Even the watch Ryan was wearing right now had been bought with my card by the two of them. Using my money, enjoying everything I had, and treating me like hired help. Ella said, "Jack, you want to make a scene? Keep this up and don't blame me for ignoring you. You'll be begging for my forgiveness soon enough." I stared at her, almost amused. "What exactly do I need your forgiveness for? What did I do wrong? When I dare to argue with Ella, everyone else looks over. Since when did he grow a spine?" Ella was caught off guard. She stared at me, thinking of all the times I'd come crawling to her. She warned, "Fine, then don't bother riding home with me this afternoon." I nodded. "Sure." I walked to my seat and sat down, as if her words barely registered. Just a casual, effortless agreement. Bree, who sat next to Ryan, stepped in immediately. "Excuse me, Jack, what is your problem? All you had to do was buy some medicine. You couldn't even do that. Can't you see Ryan isn't feeling well?" I gave her a cold look. "Then you go buy it." Bree fired back, full of righteous indignation. "That's your job. Why would I go? I have nothing to do with Ryan, so why is it my job?" Bree pointed at me. "You're Ella's family servant." Isn't this just what you do?" That set me off. I turned to Ella. "Have you been going around telling people I'm your family servant?" Ella flinched slightly when my eyes landed on her. Of course, it wasn't something she'd said outright, People had just assumed, seeing her arrive every day in a luxury car, she'd simply never corrected them. She would never tell anyone that her father was just a driver, that she was the driver's daughter. Now somehow I was the one making a scene. Ella walked over, she sat next to me. Fine, forget the medicine, I'll get it myself. She figured it was simple jealousy. Me refusing to do anything for Ryan was just me pining for her. She glanced at me. So where's the food? No medicine, fine, but you at least got lunch, right? Someone had already told her they'd seen me get 2 trays, I said calmly. I ate it. What? You ate both of them? She looked almost personally offended. I nodded. The kids in front turned around with looks of disgust. What are you, an animal? You finished 2 whole trays? They were used to kissing Ella's boots and looking down on me. Before I'd put up with them, they were Ella's crowd and I'd wanted to stay on their good side, hoping they'd put in a good word for me. Now I realized I'd been far too tolerant. Every time Ella treated them to something, it was my money paying for it. I said calmly, I spent my own money. 2 trays, 20 trays, it's nobody's business but mine. The kids in front went quiet, their expressions darkening. One of them muttered, his own money? Doesn't Ella's family pay for everything he has? But Ella was already fuming, especially over the fact that I hadn't brought her lunch. She hadn't eaten at all. The anger boiled over. Jack, you brought this on yourself, she said. Let's see how long you can keep this up. She stood up and grabbed her things, then said to Bree, switch seats with me. You sit next to him. Every time she was unhappy, this was her punishment, refusing to sit beside me. After all, I had begged for that seat. She was supposed to be my tutor, sitting next to me so she could help me study. But thinking back, she had never tutored me once. All she ever did was give me orders. She seemed to think the move would rattle me. It didn't. I ignored her completely. Ella hadn't eaten. Ryan was still suffering from his stomachache. She sat nearby, expression dark, shooting a glance at me by the window. This time, Ella was genuinely furious. She was already planning what she'd do when I came crawling back to apologize. After school, the Maybach was waiting at the gate. I walked straight to it without a second glance. By now the whole school knew I'd crossed Ella. Everyone was waiting to watch me fall flat on my face. When I got in without hesitation, the whispers started flying. Didn't he refuse to buy her lunch? And now he's freeloading in her car? A servant's son acting like the young master? Ella isn't even here yet and he just helps himself. Ella's way too patient. If I were her, I'd have fired that ungrateful little nobody a long time ago. I heard every word, I couldn't care less. I settled into my seat and said to the driver, let's go. The driver glanced at me. But Miss Ella isn't here yet, let's wait a bit. Sometimes Ella ran late because of student council. I always waited. He'd expected the same today. Instead, I was telling him to leave. The driver wasn't following my orders and was actually taking Ella's side. I almost laughed. Uncle Steve, my father has one child, me. Since when do we have a young miss? Did you two have a fight? Uncle Steve said with concern. Don't worry, I'll have a word with her. Don't bother, just drive. I don't want to ride with her and I don't want to see her anymore. Uncle Steve hesitated, not moving. He knew better than anyone how badly I used to cave to his daughter. Every time she said something, I would never dare push back. He figured even if he ignored me, the worst I'd do was let Ella scold me a little. He'd already started imagining a future where I inherited the family fortune, and his daughter got it all. He'd long stopped seeing himself as just the driver. He was already playing the role of father-in-law. Are you going to drive or not? I frowned. My father had actually wanted to let him go for a while. Word had gotten around that Uncle Steve was gambling on the side. My father didn't feel comfortable keeping someone like that around. But back then I'd lost my mind. I had defended him every time. Kept him on because as long as he stayed, Ella stayed too. I'd sung his praises. Told everyone he was wonderful to me. That was the only reason he still had this job. And now he wouldn't even listen to his own employer. They arrived. The moment Uncle Steve spotted Ella at the gate, he jumped out of the car. Ella walked over with Ryan, her arm steadying him. Uncle Steve opened the door. Ella moved to help Ryan in. Because of my feelings for Ella, just to keep her close, I had let Ryan tag along every single day. The driver would drop Ryan off first before taking us home. And in the mornings I'd get up early just to pick Ryan up first. Before Ryan could get in, I spoke up. Didn't someone say she wasn't riding with me today? And yet, here she is at my car. The crowd watching couldn't believe it. What is Jack's problem? That's Ella's car. Right, he's not letting her get in? They all started talking at once. Ella stared at me, her expression stiff. She had no idea what had gotten into me today. I wasn't giving her any way out. Do you have to do this? I decided to forgive you for lunch. Jack, if you keep this up, I don't need your forgiveness. Go home on your own, don't ride with me. Ella's face went pale, then flushed. She knew, in everyone's eyes, she was the wealthy girl. If she didn't get in this car, her whole image would fall apart. So she reached in and yanked me out of the car, then helped Ryan in. Ella, don't push it. I'll admit, she actually got to me. I had forgotten so much from before. But seeing her face now, I genuinely couldn't understand how I had ever put up with her, or thought she was someone worth loving. Ella ignored me entirely. She wasn't interested in reasoning. She turned to her father. Drive. Uncle Steve drove away, and I was left standing on the sidewalk. The crowd watching couldn't hold it together. They burst out laughing. Serves him right. That's what you get for being so unreasonable. I pulled out my phone. This phone was one Ella had bought herself, a cheap Nokia, a few $100 at most. To impress her, I had given her the brand new iPhone my father got me for my birthday and taken this piece of junk in return. Back then, I thought it was a way to protect her pride. Now, staring at this sad excuse for a phone, I almost laughed. But I called my father. A moment later, the Maybach came back around. It pulled up to the gate. Uncle Steve got out looking uncomfortable. Young master, he'd clearly just gotten an earful. Get them out. I'm not sharing a ride with them. Uncle Steve turned to the car. Ella was already helping Ryan out. Both of them caught off guard. Ryan looked shaken. Jack, if you have a problem with me, fine. But you don't have to go after Ella. She's always been good to you. Ella stopped him with a hand. Don't bother. Once they were both out, I got in. Before we pulled away, I rolled down the window, smiled, and gave Ella a little wave. Bye. Uncle Steve caught my eye in the rearview mirror, clearly not expecting me to go this far. Young master, he started carefully. Arguments happen. Don't take it too hard. I'll have Ella come apologize. Though without a ride she'll probably have to take the bus. Who knows what time she'll get home. Everyone else can take the bus. Why can't she? Uncle Steve, have you forgotten who signs your paycheck? If you have a problem with me, you're welcome to quit. Lecturing me. All because he thought his daughter had a shot at my family's money. He'd stop treating me like his employer. If I hadn't called my father, he would have left me standing there without a second thought. Uncle Steve went quiet immediately. Back home, Auntie Chen met me at the door. Young master, you're back alone? Where's Miss Ella? There is no Miss Ella in this house anymore, I said. Auntie Chen blinked. When did the young master finally come to his senses? I had treated Ella so well for so long, that both she and her father had completely lost sight of their place. Auntie Chen had wanted to say something many times. She never dared, because she knew it would upset me. Now hearing this from me, she was genuinely moved. She looked at me. She had always been the kindest to me among all the household staff. But before, because she used to manage things around Ella, I had unfairly resented her for it. After Ella took over the household in my past life, Auntie Chen was the first one she drove out. Thinking back on everything, looking at her now, my eyes stung. I'm heading upstairs, I told her. Of course. Oh, Miss Sophia is here. Should I send her away? Sophia came by the house often, but because my father had arranged her for me, and I was obsessed with Ella, I had resented Sophia's very existence. Every time she came, I refused to see her. I'd just have someone send her away. In the end, we had barely crossed paths at all, but as I lay dying, it was her people who got me to the hospital. She had never forgotten that she was my fiancée. I stopped Auntie Chen. I'll see her. Where is she? In the backyard playing with Snowball. I walked out to the backyard and found Sophia feeding Snowball. I had wanted that dog myself, but Ella said she didn't like dogs, so I had stopped going near him. Yet here was Sophia, completely at ease with Snowball. She was in her school's blue uniform, the most ordinary thing in the world, and somehow she made it look stunning. Thinking of what I had heard about her before I died, a woman with everything, who had spent all those years alone, my eyes went red. Sophia finished petting Snowball, and looked up. I was standing at the doorway. She hadn't heard me come. She started toward me, then caught herself, remembering how much I had always disliked her, and stopped. Young Master Jack. Sophia was beautiful but composed beyond her years. She was the same age as me, yet she carried herself like someone in her mid-20s, and academically she had held the top ranking in the entire province. She was the one person Ella couldn't stand. Ella always said Sophia's success was just a product of privilege, that her family had given her every resource and advantage. That was the only reason she could be this good. If I had what she has, I'd be just as good. Every time Sophia's grades came out, Ella couldn't hide her irritation, and I had let that feeling infect me. I had started treating Sophia like an enemy too. But thinking about it honestly, we had barely even spoken. She had never done a single thing to me. This time I kept my feelings in check and asked quietly, "Did you need something?" "Just came to check on you," Sophia said. When I didn't respond, she read the room gracefully. "I know you don't want me here, I'll go." She hadn't even expected to see me. She had really just come for Snowball. The fact that I had come out at all was already more than she had hoped for. She was about to leave. I spoke before I could stop myself. "Do you want to stay for dinner?" Sophia froze. She looked at me with genuine surprise. "Is that okay?" The evening sun fell across me, softening everything. "Of course it is." Ella wasn't back yet. She was dropping Ryan off. In the past, I would have held dinner for her without question. Seeing me ready to eat this early, Auntie Chen was surprised. "Are we not waiting for Miss Ella?" "What for?" The household staff had grown so used to watching me revolve around Ella, that now that I'd stopped, they didn't know what to do with themselves. Auntie Chen didn't push further. "Of course, I'll get everything ready. Also, let Uncle Steve know he doesn't need to come in tomorrow. Or ever." Auntie Chen paused, then caught herself. It wasn't her place to ask. Understood. With Ella's father officially let go, I finally sat down in the dining room. Sophia had been sneaking glances at me. The moment I sat down, she quickly looked away. I hadn't expected her to be this flustered. It made me want to tease her a little. "Why won't you look at me? Am I that bad to look at? My grades might be terrible, but I'm not hard on the eyes. If Ella hadn't dragged me down the way she did, I would never have ended up the way I did." Sophia turned back to me, expression perfectly calm. "You're not, but if you looked closely." Her ears had gone completely red. I smiled. "By the way, I heard your grades are incredible." She wasn't used to me being warm with her. "They're all right," she said. "Do you know any good tutors? I could really use a recommendation." Counting on Ella was obviously no longer an option. This time around I wasn't going to coast through life assuming my father would protect me forever. I had barely cracked a textbook in my past life. While I still had the chance, I was going to fix that. Sophia had connections. A tutor she recommended would probably actually be worth something. A tutor? What about Ella? She had heard that my tutor was a classmate, which was why Ella had been living at my house all this time. She's been let go, because Ella had never respected me. She had zero patience for tutoring me, and every penny I'd paid her had been completely wasted. Sophia looked surprised. I was clearly serious. This wasn't a joke. She picked up her glass and took a sip, steadying herself. "I don't have a tutor. I've always just studied on my own. If you don't mind, I could come every day and tutor you myself." She didn't really expect me to say yes. Given that I had never even spared her a glance before, being invited to dinner was already far beyond what she'd hoped for, so when my face lit up the way it did, she wasn't prepared. Really? Sophia nodded, almost flustered by my reaction. Whenever you're ready. Absolutely, I said, genuinely happy. Of course, I just don't want to take up your study time. It won't, Sophia said, her face calm, but her eyes soft in a way that was hard to miss. It won't affect me at all. She had already finished the entire high school curriculum and had a guaranteed university placement, but she didn't say any of that, afraid it might put me off. Then thank you, I said. My grades are terrible, just don't give up on me. Ella had good grades too, but not a drop of patience. If I didn't get something on the first explanation, she would just yell at me. My grades had actually been average before. Under her tutoring, they had only gotten worse, and my confidence had gone with them. I won't, Sophia said. I'll come by after school then. The two of us sat there over dinner. Sophia was quiet. I picked up my chopsticks and set some food on her plate. Make yourself at home, no need to be polite. And it was right at that moment that Ella walked in, having just dropped Ryan off. She had already gotten the news about her father, and he had let her have it. She walked in to find me eating without her, every dish already touched. Her face went cold instantly. I glanced at her and kept eating. Ella had come to confront me about her father, but then she saw Sophia sitting there. Why is she here? She said, visibly annoyed. Before, I had kept my distance from every other girl just to keep Ella happy. Every time Sophia came by, I had turned her away without even looking at her, and now here she was, at my dinner table. She's my guest, I said. Do you have a problem with that? Ella sat down slowly, watching me. You invited her here just to get at me, didn't you? She had always hated Sophia. In every competition, as long as Sophia's name was at the top, first place was out of reach. Sophia sat quietly, saying nothing. I looked at Ella. You're overthinking it. Ella, you're not that important. There was a time when I thought she was my entire world, everything I had given in her direction, but given a second chance, all I felt when I looked at her was disgust. Loving someone like this had only ever dragged me under. If you think seeing me with another girl is going to upset you, Jack, you've really got the wrong idea about where we stand. I actually wish you'd get close to someone else. At least then you'd stop coming around bothering me. With that, she got up and went straight upstairs to her room. I was speechless. Once Ella was gone, I caught the shift in Sophia's expression. Something complicated had moved through it. Don't listen to her, I said quickly. I wasn't entirely sure she wouldn't take it the wrong way, but Sophia said nothing. She had gone quiet, her warmth replaced by a noticeable chill. After dinner, I walked her to the door. Take care on the way home. Okay. She left without another word, quiet as always. I went back inside. Ella was coming down the stairs. She had changed out of her uniform jacket and was wearing just a short-sleeved shirt. For all the terrible things she had done, she really was beautiful, soft-looking, almost gentle. That was exactly how she had fooled me before. Now Ella turned to me and said, "Why did you fire my father?" She hadn't brought it up in front of Sophia. She couldn't afford to let anyone know she was just the driver's daughter. Making a scene in front of Sophia would have been humiliating. Do I need to explain myself to you for firing a driver? That's my father, Ella said. Everything today was my call. He had nothing to do with it. If you want to punish someone, punish me. Go ahead, fire me too. The word fire gave me a second wind. I looked straight at her. Gladly. What did you just say? Ella stared at me. You've always thought I was stupid, haven't you? Fine, it's over. Pack your things and move out. I'll find a different tutor. Ever since you started tutoring me, my grades have only gotten worse. Frankly, you're not worth what I've been paying you. Ella thought I was bluffing. She couldn't believe I was actually going through with it. Your grades are bad because you can't keep up. I explained the same problem to Ryan once and he gets it immediately. And you? You're hopeless. That's on me for even trying. It's the same even if you switch to another teacher. No one can teach you more. The problem is you. She was still putting this on me. Get out of my house, Jack. Ella's brow furrowed. You're still a student. Focus on your studies. All you ever think about is chasing after me. No wonder your grades are a disaster. What are you even talking about? Ella let out a cold laugh. These little games of yours, you're just jealous that Ryan and I are close. You feel bad just because I don't want to be in a relationship with you. I just want to focus on school and get into a good university. Unlike you, even if you never studied a day in your life, your family's money would take care of everything. So don't expect anything from me. I stared at her. For a moment I was genuinely stunned. Then it hit me. Who said anything about being together? Ella, where does this confidence come from? Do you actually think I want to be with you? Without me, you are nothing. Ella just thought I was being stubborn. Think whatever you want, but I'm warning you, if you invite Sophia over for dinner again, don't expect me to acknowledge you. She turned and went straight to her room, slamming the door behind her. Quite a temper, as if this were her house. I went to my room and called Auntie Chen. Tomorrow move Ella's things out of her room. There's no room in this house for someone who wants to walk all over me. I got Sophia's number from Auntie Chen and saved it. Then I sent her a message. Did you get home okay? No reply. The next morning I woke up on my own time. No more early pickups for Ryan. I could finally sleep until I was ready. I assumed Ella would be gone. Instead, she was sitting at the dining table waiting for me. I found a seat and started on my breakfast. Every day, rushing out to pick up Ryan. I had barely eaten a proper breakfast at home in months. Now I looked up at Ella sitting there waiting, that stubborn expression on her face. Even now she still thought she could play me. I finished breakfast and headed out. Ella followed right behind me. The new driver was already there and opened the door for me. I got in. Ella got in after me. I looked at her. Ella, weren't you the one who said she wasn't riding with me? I remember every word from yesterday. Ella pressed her lips together and said nothing. If her father hadn't pressured her to smooth things over, she never would have. A little money and he thinks he can push people around. Who does he think he is? But her father still needed a job. I didn't waste any more time on her. Just told the driver to take us to school. I stepped out. Ella followed. We used to always arrive with Ryan. Today he had taken the bus. Seeing Ella, he jogged over. His eyes landed on me. Yesterday's scene had confused him. A servant's son, acting like that toward Ella? Seeing us arrive together, he asked, "You two made up?" I didn't bother with either of them. I walked straight inside. Ella watched me go, frowning as I didn't even pause for her. "There's nothing worth arguing about with him," she said to Ryan. Ryan shook his head. "Either way, letting a servant's son treat you like that, you're too patient." "People are talking, Ella. They're saying Jack is the real young master." "Ignore them," Ella said. "My father and Jack have a good relationship. He asked me to look out for Jack. I can't just abandon him." That made sense. If it was for her father's sake. Ryan relaxed slightly. I got to class. Bree was already there, blocking my seat. "Move," I said. Bree looked up at me. "You've got some nerve. Yesterday you just left Ella and Ryan stranded at the gate and had the driver take off." I looked at her and laughed softly. "My car, my right. Who are you again?" My confidence caught everyone off guard. "Are you saying that Maybach is yours?" "What else would it be?" I said flatly. Bree let out a short laugh. "Please, we all know exactly who you are, Jack. You think you can play the young master here? Really? Word is that driver is your dad. Your whole family works for the Jungs. Ella's just too kind to make a fuss. Otherwise she'd have thrown you out ages ago. Don't push your luck." Bree was close with Ryan, who was always around Ella. When she said it like that, people believed her. Ella and Ryan appeared at the classroom door. Ella's expression was tight. Because what Bree had just said wasn't really an attack on me, it was an attack on her. She walked over to Bree. "Get back to your seat." Bree shot Ella a reluctant look, clearly sensing her displeasure, and moved her things. Ella sat down next to me again. I didn't react. Her movements meant nothing to me anymore. She was the teacher's favorite and well-liked by everyone. No one would question her changing seats. Bree settled in next to Ryan, still sulking. She said to Ryan, "What is Ella doing? Jack has been walking all over her and she's still protecting him. He's literally living at her place now. Her father asked her to look after him," Ryan said. "That's all there is to it. Don't read into it." "Oh," Bree said. "That explains it. He actually claimed that car was his." Ella's phone is obviously expensive, and the gifts she gives Ryan aren't cheap either, but Jack's phone looks just like mine, and he wants to play rich boy? Who's going to believe that? I checked my phone quietly. Sophia had finally replied, one word, "Yeah, ice cold." Yesterday she had been warm and easy to talk to. Then she left and turned distant, and she'd only just replied to a message I sent last night. Ella was sitting right beside me and caught a glimpse of my screen. The contact name, Sophia. She frowned. Nothing obvious had changed, yet from yesterday onward I felt like a completely different person. I take out my phone and send a message to Sophia. "Still coming this afternoon for tutoring?" Her reply came quickly, one word, "Yes." Good enough. I put my phone away. I threw myself into class, the focus I had never had before. At lunch Ryan came over to get Ella. She glanced at me automatically. "Aren't you going to eat?" My focus today had clearly confused her. No dozing off, and now I was still carefully organizing my notes after the bell. Once my head had been full of nothing but her. Even I have moments when I study seriously. Seeing that I'm still busy after class, Ella can't help but ask curiously. I acted like I hadn't heard a word, ignoring her directly. Ryan glanced at Ella. "If he's not going, let's just go. We can bring something back for him." "Don't bother," I said. Ryan was a good person. At least that was how everyone saw him. Even when others mocked me behind my back, Ryan stayed decent. But I didn't want to owe anyone anything. I gathered my things neatly, and stood up, but went my own way. Ryan fell in beside Ella. "What's going on with him? He's completely ignoring you. What did you do?" Ella was just as confused. She wanted to figure it out too. Normally, no matter how cold she was, I would always come crawling back like a needy little dog. But from yesterday onward she hadn't done anything different, and yet here I was. She couldn't figure it out. Ryan said, "By the way, are you inviting him to your birthday party this weekend?" This weekend was Ella's birthday. Last year she had celebrated at the Imperial View Hotel. I had booked everything, organized every detail, and let her invite whoever she wanted from school. One night, hundreds of thousands spent. Every classmate who attended had raved about it. Being invited to Ella's birthday party was considered an honor. This year was no different. I had taken care of everything days in advance. If I hadn't said what I said about firing her, Ella wouldn't have given it a second thought. But after yesterday, and now today's coldness, she couldn't help but worry. If I didn't show up, could she even have the party? She watched me walk away, and told herself to calm down. Don't overthink it. He'll show up, he always does. He would never skip my birthday. Maybe this whole cold act is his way of building up to a surprise. She relaxed slightly. "He'll be there," she told Ryan. "Yeah," Ryan agreed. He's never missed one. That afternoon, Ella and Ryan had rehearsals for a school event. I didn't wait. I went straight home. Sophia was already there. When I walked in, she and Snowball both came to meet me. Seeing her there, I smiled. Maybe it was the bond we had shared in another life. But every time I saw her now, it felt like something rare and worth holding on to. Sophia blinked at my smile. She was used to the cold, indifferent version of me. All this warmth lately kept catching her off guard. She couldn't quite hold my gaze. I said with a smile, "You're early. Let's head to the study." I led her upstairs. I ran into a lot of things in class today that didn't make sense to me. I was hoping you could help. We sat down in the study. That seat beside me had always been Ella's. But even if she sits here, she never teaches me seriously. She would have said I was the one wasting her time. Sophia sat beside me and pulled out 2 practice tests. She wanted to gauge where I was starting from. I worked through them carefully and handed them over. Sophia looked them over in silence. I shifted uncomfortably. Sorry, I really am hopeless. It's not your fault, Sophia said. Your approach to studying just needs work. Let me start with the basics, is that okay? I nodded. When Sophia is teaching, she keeps her head down the whole time, never looks at me and lectures very earnestly, but her explanations were clearer than anything I had ever heard. Things that had baffled me for months suddenly clicked the moment she explained them. Sophia had been going for a while. She was getting thirsty. When she finally looked up, she caught me staring. She swallowed, a little self-conscious, and looked back at the paper. Is something wrong? Do you have a question? I was just thinking, you're so patient with me, but on your phone you're completely cold. 2 words total. Is it because of the thing with Ella? Are you upset with me? No, Sophia said. Family came over yesterday. I was busy and didn't see your message until morning. By the time I saw it, it was already morning. If you ever need anything, just call me anytime. We were deep into studying. When my phone rang, I picked up. Ella's voice came through. Jack, what do you think you're doing? What did I do now? Her accusatory tone, I genuinely had no idea what I had done. You had them throw out all my things. I glanced at Sophia, no point hiding it. I directly said, I told you yesterday, you've been let go, which means you have no reason to be in my house anymore. I'm in the middle of a session. Don't bother me. I hung up. Ella stood at the door, staring at her bags piled outside. She couldn't believe I had actually done it. I was really throwing her out. I put the phone down. Let's keep going. Sophia replied quietly and said nothing more. A few minutes later, the study door flew open. Ella stood there. Her face was dark with fury. Her eyes swept over me and Sophia, a flicker of contempt in her gaze. Seeing her appear here, I stand up and ask, what do you want? I thought you didn't like me. I thought I wasn't good enough. And now you're the one who can't let go. Ella stepped forward, voice sharp. Do you find it funny humiliating me like this? Sophia stood up instinctively and moved in front of me. Humiliate you? Seeing Ella so angry, I retort, I think you've got this backwards. How exactly did I humiliate you? Ella, I'm the one who's been humiliated. I paid for everything in your life, and while you and Ryan were inseparable, I followed you around like hired help, serving you both, swallowing your coldness every single day. You don't call that humiliation? All I had done was take back what was mine, and she called that humiliation. Ella's lips pressed together. Don't think bringing someone here is going to pressure me into anything. I will never like you. I will never be with you. Let me make that absolutely clear. She turned to leave and walked straight into the door. I opened the window, the sound carrying down below. I watched her come downstairs, pick up her bags and walk away without looking back. Clean exit. Ella had always been proud in front of me. Poor family, but a spine made of steel. No matter how much I gave her, she had never bent for money. That was what I had loved about her once. Now it just seemed absurd. Sophia looked over at me from across the room. Jack. I turned, she was still there. Sorry, let's keep going. Sophia looked at me. Maybe I should go, you don't seem like you're in a great place. I'm fine, really. I was just thinking about some dumb things I used to do. It's not about Ella. Watching Ella leave actually made me feel lighter. At least now I didn't have to dread what was coming. Away from Ella, I wouldn't get sick this time. I wouldn't end up the same way. I'll head out then, Sophia said and moved toward the door. I stepped forward and caught her hand. Sophia froze. She turned and looked at me. What is it? I didn't quite know what I was doing, but I could see she wasn't entirely okay. Every time Ella showed up and said the things she said, Sophia would quietly start pulling away from me. My closeness with Ella had been obvious. I had never hidden how I felt about her. Everyone, including Sophia, had assumed that I was in love with Ella, and honestly, I had. If not for that wretched ending in my past life, I might never have woken up. I let go of her hand and looked at her. Are you free Saturday? I want to go to the Imperial View Hotel for dinner. Want to come? The food there was exceptional. After a past life spent half starving, I just wanted to eat well. Before I would have taken Ella without hesitation. Now, she was the last person I wanted to bring. Sophia was the match my father had arranged for me. As long as I didn't ruin it, she would probably become my wife after graduation. I used to resent my father for making the arrangement without asking me, but looking at it now, she was every bit as beautiful as Ella, and on top of that she had a far better family. She chose me. If anything, I was the lucky one. You're not going with her? Sophia said. She meant Ella. So you want me to be with her? I asked. You want me to go back to avoiding you? Of course not, Sophia said without hesitation. Then it's settled. See you Saturday. Saturday afternoon. I arrived a little late. At the entrance I spotted plenty of familiar faces, all dressed up and looking their best. Bree caught sight of me first and let out a laugh. Jack, you actually showed your face here. I frowned. Why can't I come? The owner here is a close friend of my father's. I'm a very important person. I come whenever I want. Give me one reason I shouldn't be here. Bree snorted. Ella hasn't given you the time of day all week, and now you're showing up to her birthday party? The nerve? Ella's birthday. Right, that was today. I had been so focused on studying lately that it had completely slipped my mind. If they hadn't mentioned it, I might not have remembered at all. I had already made arrangements with the hotel. This was Ella's 18th birthday. Last year I had thrown her an enormous celebration here. Everyone had talked about it for weeks, but it was also on that day that I found out about Ella and Ryan. I had confronted her, and she had been completely unapologetic. Ryan and I like each other, why shouldn't we be together? Jack, can you stop sticking your nose in my life? I'd stopped talking to her in a rage. We were at a standoff for 2 whole days, and then I had broken first and apologized. From that birthday onward, the two of them had gotten bolder, right in front of my face. Eventually I'd begged her to be with me, and to get her to marry me. I had even gone so far as to sign away the company my father had left me. What a fool, standing here now watching the crowd enjoy themselves. I had no interest in any of them. All of this had been arranged by me. All of it charged to me. And now that I'd cut Ella off, she had still brought everyone here to spend freely. I was genuinely curious how she planned to handle the bill. I ignored the jeers and walked straight to the elevator. My table with Sophia was already reserved. I wondered if she had arrived. The elevator opened. Ella was right there, deep in conversation with Ryan, until she saw me. Her eyes locked onto me immediately. She smiled. I knew you'd show up, and here you are. She walked toward me with a trace of smugness. Didn't you say you weren't coming? Don't think showing up means I've forgiven you. I'm still angry, Jack. Every time. She used her anger like a leash. I looked at her, the corner, my mouth lifting. Did you need something? Aren't you here for my birthday? Ella said. Why would I be here for your birthday? You didn't even invite me. You've got a whole crowd of people. You won't miss one. What is that supposed to? Ella stared at me, irritated. Still playing games, she thought. Picking a fight on her birthday just to get under her skin. Just then, the restaurant manager walked over. Young Master Jack. I asked about Sophia. The manager nodded. She's already here. Please take me to her. The manager turned to lead the way. Ella followed right behind me. Jack, are you done with this? Seeing that I'm still going to look for Sophia, it's just that she's too good-tempered. I glance at her. I'm not the one making a scene. You are. You told me to stop following you around, said I was annoying, now I have, so what's the problem? Your boyfriend is waiting, I say, glancing over at Ryan, who looks like he wants to follow us but thinks better of it. Ryan has never seen Ella come to me like this before. Of course, I know exactly why she's doing it. It's not me she can't bear to lose. It's the money in my pocket. She never liked me. Yet she accepted everything I gave her without a second thought. She'd say no with her mouth, then take it with a smile. Now that I'm pulling back, she's panicking. After all, she's been planning this birthday party for so long. She can't let it fall apart now. Ella says, if this is about me and Ryan, I can keep my distance from him. So can you please stop causing trouble? For the first time ever, she's the one backing down. That alone tells me how much this party means to her. Then again, if she didn't care about appearances, she never would have built that rich girl image at school, and she certainly wouldn't have invited half the school to her birthday. Turns out she's afraid of looking bad after all. I've seen Ella play the cold, untouchable queen. Watching her fold over a birthday party is something else entirely. I find it rather entertaining. I give a slow nod. Right. It's your birthday. Wouldn't want to ruin everyone's fun, would we? I turn to the manager. I made a reservation here. The Jade Hall under the name Ella. The manager checks her records. Yes, that's correct, young Master Jack. Since today is her birthday, go ahead and let her use the hall. I look back at Ella. That works for you? Ella breathes a sigh of relief when she sees I've softened my stance. She looks at me and says, so this was all just to break me and Ryan up. You can't stand seeing us together. You're overthinking it. I don't care who you're with. Ella, give it time, you'll understand. Without me, you're nothing. The manager stands quietly to the side. My words strip Ella of every shred of dignity. I'm done with you, she snaps and walks away without looking back. The manager glances at me. I'll have the Jade Hall prepared right away. I nod. One thing, nobody leaves until she settles the bill herself. Not a single person. Understood, young Master Jack. Once everything is in order, I go find Sophia. Ella makes her way back to Ryan. Ryan sees her dark expression. How'd it go? What did you two talk about? Nothing worth mentioning, Ella says. She glances at Ryan, steady, gentle, attentive as always, as if she'd ever break up with Ryan for Jack's sake. Dream on. Once this party is over, she's cutting Jack off completely. Not even a polite smile. Sophia isn't in her school uniform today. She's wearing a dress. The style is simple, but on her it carries an effortless elegance. When I walk in, she's absorbed in the menu. She hears me and looks up, our eyes meeting. I smile. Been waiting long? No, I just got here too. Sophia studies me for a moment. I'm in a plain tee today, bright and easy looking, though I'm on the thin side. I slide naturally into the seat beside her. Sophia didn't expect me to sit so close. She stiffened slightly. There are plenty of other seats. I don't notice her discomfort. Have you ordered yet? Not yet, still looking. Let me see. I lean over, reading the menu right alongside her. Sophia can't focus on the menu anymore. Her attention keeps drifting to me. Whatever shampoo I use, it smells good, clean and fresh, not overwhelming at all. I'm in the mood for something bold and heavy. It's the kind of thing that makes you feel alive. Those days of illness, never enough food, never warm enough, never able to sleep, those days were pure torment. Even now, reborn, I sometimes dream I'm back in that life. The food is fiery. I fan my mouth with my hand. I reach for the watermelon juice and take a sip. Sophia asks, do you like spicy food? It's fine. I look up at her. You? I do too, she says, playing along. She picks up her chopsticks and helps herself. We're in a private room, a server standing quietly nearby. A short while later, the owner of the Imperial View Hotel walks in. His name is Miles. I greet him politely. Uncle Miles. Miles looks at me with a smile. Jack, you're here too. The way he says it tells me he didn't come for me. Sure enough, he heads straight for Sophia. Miss Sophia, he says respectfully. Welcome to our hotel. Please don't hesitate to let me know if anything falls short. He knows who Sophia is because of his close ties with my father. Most people have no idea who she really is. No one knows the Sophia family's youngest daughter from the capital is quietly living here in this city. Sophia gives a brief acknowledgement and goes back to eating. She's so cold. I always thought she was warm. Seeing her now, I realize Sophia just doesn't like talking to people. Miles stands there a moment, pours her water himself. She says nothing. A keep your distance energy fills the entire room. Finally, Miles reads the room and says, I'll leave you to enjoy your meal. Take your time. Uncle Miles, wait, I stop him. At the sound of this voice he stops walking, then he turns back. Young Master Jack, is there something you need? His smile is warm and genuine. The kind of person you can't help but like. It's why I've always had a good impression of him. But if my memory serves me right, in my previous life, the Imperial View Hotel caught fire just 3 days after Ella's birthday party. The kitchen fire suppression system was inadequate, and when the fire broke out, the extinguishers were completely useless. The fire even claimed lives. The Imperial View had been the finest hotel in the city. After that, it never recovered. Word was that Miles fell gravely ill from the blow. I look at him and ask, is your hotel's fire safety system in good shape? Miles looks at me, caught off guard. That's an unexpected question, young Master Jack. Just a feeling. Might be worth having someone take a proper look, especially the kitchen. Rest assured, Miles says. Our fire safety is top-notch. We take full responsibility for our guests. I hold his gaze. Uncle Miles, why not go check yourself? My persistence draws a flicker of displeasure across his face. He fixes me with a look. What exactly are you implying, young Master Jack? You don't trust my word? Your father and I are old friends. He knows exactly what kind of man I am. I run an honest business. This feels like a personal slight. I'm close in age to his son. In his eyes, I'm just a kid who doesn't know better. Sophia speaks. If he says so, it wouldn't hurt to take a look. Since Miles walked in, she hasn't said a single word to him. She gives brief answers when he speaks to her, and yet even now those few words carry weight. Miles respects her enough to comply. Alright, I'll go right now. Sophia is utterly composed, and her background speaks for itself. She's close to my age, yet somehow her words carry a weight mine simply don't. After Miles leaves, I look at Sophia in surprise. Why did you help me? I ask because I know what's coming, but from Sophia's perspective she should have no reason to believe any of it. Sophia looks at me. You spoke up. Of course I'd back you. What if I was just making it up? So what? Sophia says. Even if it's nothing, all it costs him is a walk to the kitchen. She says it all so calmly. But watching her, I feel something warm rise inside me, like being truly believed by someone. I think back to the day of my diagnosis. No one wanted to believe I was a victim. They all said it was my own recklessness. If I had been reckless, I'd have accepted it. Everyone pointed fingers. Everyone looked at me with disgust. In time, even I started to hate myself. But it was Ella who had arranged it. Someone had deliberately used a contaminated needle on me at her instruction, all so she could have an excuse to refuse the marriage. Only the one who set the trap knows just how innocent you really are. Sophia and I take our time with the meal. When it's done, we don't leave. We order dessert. I even brought my homework along and work through it at the table. Sophia walks me through the problems as I go. We talk until evening. When Ella's birthday party wraps up and the guests move to leave, they find themselves stopped. Ella hasn't settled the bill. Ella calls me. I let it ring. Sophia watches from beside me. Why aren't you answering? I know who it is. I let it ring again. It takes 2 more calls before I pick up. Jack, what is this? On the other end of the phone, Ella's voice is full of anger. The angrier she gets, the lighter I feel. I've said I'm done with her, but the debt from my last life still needs to be paid, otherwise I'll never be able to let it go. I smile. Ella, what's all this? Why so worked up? Get over here and pay the bill, Ella says through her teeth. Don't make this worse. She had planned to walk out tonight and never deal with me again. She didn't expect me to be waiting for her. Now she can't pay and every single person is stuck there. Everyone is watching her. That's strange, I say. I wasn't at your party, why would I pay your bill? Why not split it with everyone? I'm sure they'd chip in. They all seem fond of you. Great friends too. Always going out to eat together. I used to give Ella well over $100,000 a month in spending money. She took it as if it were hers by right. In her mind it was just payment for tutoring. All perfectly fair. She was generous with it too, always treating people to meals. Everyone thought she was loaded and flocked to her accordingly, but every coin of it was mine. Ella says, Jack, does it really have to be like this? What do you want from me? Just tell me what it takes for you to come pay. Well, I say, if you're asking someone for a favor, you ought to sound like it, don't you think? I hear her exhale sharply on the other end. I'm not her lapdog anymore. Of course she's furious. I smile. Not willing? Alright then, I'm hanging up. Please. Ella grits the word out, knuckles tight around her phone. The hotel staff has them all held at the door. There's no way out. I hang up and get to my feet. I'll be right back, I tell Sophia. I make my way to the Jade Hall. The classmates from the party are all still inside. None of them have been able to leave. Every pair of eyes is on Ella, waiting for her to pay. The atmosphere is painfully awkward. Ella has nowhere to go. She stands there under everyone's gaze, with no way out. The moment I walk in, the manager approaches. Young Master Jack, she says politely. I look around at the crowd, all dressed up and looking their best. This afternoon they look down at me. Now that same crowd can't even afford to walk out the door. Nothing more humbling than being trapped with an unpaid bill. I smile. What's going on? Isn't this supposed to be a birthday party? Nobody looks very happy. I take a deliberate look at Ella. Her expression is darker than anyone else's. Ryan stands off to the side, clearly unsure what's going on. The manager explains, Miss Ella hasn't settled the bill. I simply asked that everyone remain until it's taken care of. I wave a hand. Is that all? No need to make a whole thing of it. These are my classmates, I'll cover the bill tonight. I hand my card to the manager. She takes it and processes the payment. The looks people give me shift, complicated, uncertain. Ella is the one having the birthday party, and yet Jack is the one paying. What exactly is going on? Can't she pay for her own party? Ella feels her face burn. She stares at me. No wonder he came so willingly. This was his plan all along, to humiliate her, to let everyone see that she's broke, that she depends on him for money. He could have quietly settled it without a word. Instead he makes a show of it, swiping the card right in front of everyone. This guy has completely lost it. A moment later the manager returns handing me back the card along with the receipt. "Done, young Master Jack, here's the bill." I glance at the total, then I read it aloud, deliberately. 860,000. Happy birthday, Ella. Since it's your special day I'll cover this one, but there won't be a next time. I glance over at Ryan. He's standing right beside me and the color has drained from his face. Wait, all of Ella's money came from Jack? Wasn't she supposed to be from a wealthy family? The scene unfolding before them is a slap in the face for everyone present. Bree steps forward and faces me. "Jack, what kind of joke is this? Just because Ella's money passes through your hands doesn't make it yours. You're just the housekeeper's kid holding it for her. What exactly are you so smug about? Your family lets the help manage your money?" I look at Bree and smile. "Since you brought it up, I'm not the housekeeper's son. Let me set the record straight. I'm not. Her father was my family's driver. He left me stranded at the school gate to drive Ella and Ryan instead. He's been dismissed. If you don't believe me, ask Ella yourself." I turn to look at her. "What do you say, Ella?" She glares at me, eyes full of bitter resignation. She has never, not once in her life, no matter how hard things got, been made to feel this humiliated. And now everyone is watching her fall apart. But she can't say a word, because there's a real chance he takes his money back and leaves her stranded. She ignores me and walks out. Ryan watches it all, then follows her out. The whole scene is unbearable, but he has no choice. What he hadn't expected though, was that she's the driver's daughter. Then why had she been pretending to come from money all this time? Once they're both gone, I glance around at everyone still in the room. "Nothing more to see here. You're all free to go. Take care on the way home. It's getting late." One by one they file out of the Jade Hall. I watch them go, then step out myself. The manager walks me toward the exit. She sees me to the elevator. Sophia arrives at exactly the same moment. We step into the elevator together. I don't say anything. Neither does she. I set the record straight back there in front of everyone. But I don't feel particularly good about it. Compared to everything I suffered, what I just did to Ella barely scratches the surface of the score I need to settle. Sophia notices my silence. She doesn't disturb it. We reach the lobby, and Miles is there. The moment he spots me he comes straight over. "Jack." This time it's not Sophia he's looking for, it's me. "Uncle Miles," I say politely. Miles takes my hand in both of his. "Jack, I can't thank you enough. If it weren't for you this hotel would have been finished. I went and checked myself, just now. There were serious problems everywhere. It was my cousin's negligence. I've already sent him home." I relax. "It was nothing." Miles gives me a curious look. "How did you know there was a problem?" The question catches me off guard. I scramble for an excuse. "I dreamed about it last night." Miles bursts out laughing. "All right, I won't pry. Oh, I've had some gifts prepared for you both." He signals to an assistant who brings them over, 2 small gift bags. "Thank you, if you ever need anything just say the word." He means every word of it. Miles sees us to the door. Sophia's car is already waiting. I settle into the seat and look out the window. The streets are quiet at this hour. A fair number of cars still on the road though, light traffic. I remember how we usually talk so much, but tonight neither of us says a word. Sophia doesn't push me, but she's thinking about how I somehow knew about the fire hazard at the Imperial View. By any logic I shouldn't know more about his hotel than he does. She's also heard what happened in the Jade Hall. Today is Ella's birthday, and yet Jack spent it with her, not Ella. That alone is something. But then he deliberately humiliated Ella in front of everyone. He really is done with her. So then why does he look so hollow right now? The truth is, the sadness only lasts a moment. I know I've been given a second chance. Everything can still be changed. As long as I don't repeat the same mistakes, there's still time. Studying hard every day lately, it's genuinely exhausting. I feel like I could sleep forever. Right now I'm barely keeping my eyes open. Before long I drift sideways and fall asleep against Sophia's shoulder. Sophia freezes. By the time they reach my home, Sophia's arm has gone slightly numb. She hasn't dared shift position, afraid of waking me. She's held still the entire way. "Miss, we've arrived." Sophia glances out the window, then her gaze falls on my face, pale, peaceful. She hesitates over whether to wake me. The driver has already stepped out and is waiting by the door. Sophia still doesn't wake me. I feel the car stop and open my eyes, glancing out the window. When it registers that I'm home, I slowly look over at Sophia. She's sitting perfectly still, not quite meeting my eyes. I roll my neck gently, a little stiff, and sit up straight. "We're here." Sophia gives a small nod. "Then why didn't you wake me? You look like you needed it." She says it the same way she says everything, face perfectly neutral. I look at her and notice the tips of her ears are red. She's always struck me as someone reserved, but I didn't expect this level of innocence. "Sophia." She hears her name and meets my eyes. "Are you afraid of me?" "No." "Then why do you avoid looking at me? When we're together, you act like I bother you." Sophia gives a quiet cough. "I'm just not used to being this close to someone. You're the first." I can't help laughing. "Then why didn't you ask me to move?" Something in my words seems to prompt her, as if to prove she's the one in control, and she asks, "Why did you and Ella fall out? I thought you liked her." The question catches me off guard. I stare at the empty street ahead. I just realized I don't. A beat. "What?" "Nothing, I'm heading in." I step out of the car. At that moment the front gate slowly swings open. My father Owen appears in the doorway. The moment I see him, something inside me lights up. "Dad, you're finally home." Dad is always busy with work. Most of the time I'm alone in that house. There are plenty of staff but few who can actually keep me in line. That was one thing, but even my father spoiled me too much, always putting my happiness first. Being spoiled by him, those were my most carefree days. In my previous life my father told me to stop chasing after Ella. I wouldn't listen. Seeing him now, all I feel is warmth. Standing before him, a long-buried ache rises to the surface. I throw myself into his arms. The tears come before I can stop them. Maybe it's only in front of the people closest to you that you let yourself break. Dad had been ready to play the stern father when I came home so late. Then I went and did this, and started crying. He panics immediately. He pats my shoulder, gentle and careful. Hey, what's wrong, son? Who hurt you? Was it that Ella girl? I heard you fired both of them. I hold on to him. Nothing, I just missed you. You silly kid. Every time I call too often you tell me I'm annoying. Wait, is that the Sophia's car? His words make me turn around. Sure enough, Sophia's car is still at the gate. Sophia has stepped out. My eyes are still red. Having her see me like this, embarrassing. Sophia gave me a lift, I tell Dad. We went out for dinner. Dad glances at me, visibly surprised. He had brought up the betrothal before. I had been completely against it. I had even said I'd never have anything to do with Sophia. And now here they are, coming home together after dinner. He doesn't know what changed, but he turns to Sophia all the same. Sophia, come in and sit for a while. Hello, Uncle, Sophia says. I won't come in today, I should head home. She glances at me once, then gets back in the car. The car pulls away. I follow my father inside. Did Sophia do something to you? Dad eyes my red-rimmed eyes and crumpled expression. I shake my head. No, she's been good to me. I sink into the sofa. Dad keeps watching me. He's still young now. He wasn't old when he was gone either, in my last life, but somehow I always remember him as older when he left. Dad asks again and again, circling back until he's satisfied that Ella hasn't done anything to me. Sunday morning, barely out of bed, Auntie Chen tells me Ella is here. The memory of last night flashes through my mind. We've truly burned every bridge between us. Ella should know by now. I'm not going to indulge her anymore. And yet here she is. I come downstairs to find it's not just Ella. Her father is here too. Uncle Steve is seated on the sofa speaking to my father. Mr. Owen, it's all Ella's fault. She doesn't know how to behave. I've given her a good talking to. She won't give Jack any more trouble. My father's brow creases. And since when do you address my son by name? Dad has never liked either of them. The only reason he's tolerated them this long is fear of pushing me away. Uncle Steve realizes his mistake and scrambles to apologize. Young Master Jack, of course. The moment he sees me on the stairs, his eyes snap toward me. Good morning, young Master Jack. I've brought Ella here today to offer her apologies. I look over at Ella. She's seated there, expression dark, saying nothing. Apologies? I don't believe that for a second. Her face couldn't make her resentment any clearer. She's still fuming over last night. There is no way she's here to apologize. Uncle Steve, what are you talking about? I say. Ella hasn't done anything to me, no apology needed. But I heard you let her go. When he himself was fired, he hadn't been half this anxious. His monthly wage wasn't much, and the hours were long. But Ella was different. She barely had to tutor me, and the money she received was substantial. And who knew, maybe one day the entire Jiang family fortune would have ended up hers. Now that things have fallen apart, of course he can't accept it. Over the years she tutored me. My grades only got worse. Besides, Ella herself said she couldn't do the job, that I was too dull to teach, so I did her the favor of letting her go. There's no conflict between us. She hasn't done anything wrong. Really, an apology isn't necessary. Dad gives me a sideways look. My expression is completely calm. Before I had insisted on having Ella around. Insisted she tutor me. Dad had no choice but to go along with it. Now I've let her go entirely. Dad is surprised, and quietly moved. His son has finally grown up. I have class to prepare for, and I need to eat. Dad has someone see them out. After breakfast I head outside. The driver is already waiting in the courtyard. I get in. The car pulls out of the gate. I see Ella still standing outside, her father beside her. Gone is the soft-spoken man from inside. Uncle Steve raises his hand and strikes her across the face. I know Ella's story. Her father is a compulsive gambler. Her mother couldn't take it and left, abandoning Ella without a second thought. All these years she's lived with her father, borrowing money from relatives just to stay in school. As she got older she started finding her own way. Under those circumstances to still excel academically, top of the school every single time. I admired her for it. I gave her everything. My care, my attention, the best of what I had, because I wanted her life to be easier. But while I was aching for her, she never gave me a second thought. To her, I was a bank. The person she actually cared for wasn't me. I look away and head straight to school. After everything that happened yesterday, the way people treat me has noticeably softened. Classmates start coming up to talk. Jack, is your family really that wealthy? So all of Ella's money came from you? We always thought she was from a rich family. You all know now, don't you? Young Master Jack, what about me? I promise I'm way more agreeable than Ella. I look at the girl in front of me. A laugh escapes before I can stop it. Just then, Ella walks in. She catches the girl's words and lets out a cold laugh. Dream on. He'd have to actually want you first. He's already got his eye on someone new. Get in line. New target? Everyone turns at Ella's words. Someone new? Who could possibly top Ella? Is there even anyone at this school who comes close? Hard to imagine. She may no longer have the rich girl image, but Ella's academic record is exceptional, and she's undeniably beautiful. Everyone agrees she's going places. Ella doesn't bother answering the crowd. she just turns her gaze to me. You spent all this time as my lapdog. Just because I wouldn't date you, you turned on me like this? Jack, no matter what you do, I will never like you. You're a poor student who thinks family money buys him the world. You're not even worth a fraction of Ryan. Ella's words remind everyone of my academic record. Dead last in the rankings. Not only was I her lapdog, I'm a complete deadweight too. Before I can respond, Ella brings up last night's party. You were the one who pushed me to invite everyone. I didn't even want to go. And then you deliberately humiliated everyone there. Is that what money means to you? Something to toy with people's dignity? And don't twist the facts. Don't go around saying you were supporting me. That money was payment for tutoring, nothing more. I won't take another cent from you, but don't expect any help from me either. With that, Ella switches seats without another glance in my direction. Every part of her posture says she wants nothing to do with me. There she goes again, rebuilding the cool, untouchable scholar image. Classic Ella. I haven't forgotten the way she came to me last night asking for help. When I saw her father hit her this morning, I felt a flicker of pity. Now I think he didn't hit her hard enough. I'm not going to let this slide. Tutoring? I say. Ella, you've got some nerve bringing that up. From the moment you started tutoring me, what exactly did you do besides spend my money? I finished last in class every single month. That's your tutoring at work. Ella's expression doesn't budge. I told you from the start, you're too slow to teach. That's hardly my problem. With all your money, Jack, maybe buy yourself a new brain. The class erupts in laughter. I watch her stand there so certain of herself and say, are you sure it was me who was slow, and not your teaching? Ella thinks of Sophia. She knows Sophia has been tutoring me. She gives a short scoff. Fine then, let's settle this. Show me your results at the next monthly exam. You don't even need to do much, just move up 100 places in the rankings, and I'll admit the fault was mine. She wants to see if Sophia can pull off a miracle, because in her mind, my brain simply doesn't work. Deal, I say, holding her gaze. She only asked for 100 places, she didn't even aim higher. That says everything about how little she thinks of me. Ella turns to the class. You all heard it, he agreed. If he moves up 100 places at the next exam, I'll run 10 kilometers as my penalty. A ripple of excitement runs through the room. Everyone's eyes are on Ella. Bree looks over at me. If the school beauty is running 10 kilometers, shouldn't you run 10 too if you lose? Though Jack, can you even finish 10 kilometers? If you're scared, just admit it now. I look at them and say, sure, 100 places isn't much of a challenge. The truth is, Sophia's way of explaining things just clicks for me. These past few days I felt myself improving in a real way, so I agree without hesitation. A clear goal is exactly the kind of pressure I need. Ella sees me nod and bites back a laugh. Idiot, she mutters, and sits back down. She genuinely didn't expect me to take the bet. Back when she tutored me, I was clueless on every count. She knows exactly what she thinks my level is. She's already looking forward, watching me run. The bet has barely been made. When Ryan walks through the door, he stops at the doorway. He's heard everything Ella just said. He spent all last night in a low mood, but by now he's worked things out in his head. Ella's grades are outstanding, she's beautiful, and even if her background is modest, she's hardworking and driven. Isn't she 100 times better than a deadweight like Jack? She'll make something of herself on her own merits. Being with her is no loss at all. With that settled in his mind, he walks over to Ella. Ella, your father may be a driver, but he earns his living with his own hands. And you've always topped the class. Coming this far without much support, that couldn't have been easy. I'll stand by you. Always. Ryan's words work like a charm. Every classmate who had doubts about Ella is suddenly moved. Ryan standing by her through all of this, that kind of devotion is something else. And really, people have always admired Ella. Not just for money, but for who she is. Her character and her grades both speak for themselves. But Jack, he doesn't even try. And yet he expects someone to be with him. Shameless. I watch the two of them perform their little duet and feel the urge to weep. For the sheer drama of it all, truly touching. These two deserve each other. Lock it in. I have only myself to blame for ever getting involved. After Ella's little speech, everyone's decided I'm a complete deadweight. I'd barely shaken off the lapdog label and the housekeeper's son rumor. Now they're keeping their distance again because of my grades. But honestly, I don't care much. Compared to the loneliness and helplessness of my last life, this is nothing. At least I have my family's wealth and parents who love me. I focus on studying and don't bother with the rest of them. After school, Dad drives up with Mom to pick me up. They're both in their 40s now, but they were the most striking pair at their school back in the day, and even now they carry themselves with quiet elegance. Mom steps out of the car, and the moment she spots me, she pulls me into a warm embrace. Then she thoughtfully holds the door open for me. Ella and Ryan have just walked out of school when they see the whole thing. The classmates with them spot me getting into a car with an older woman. Curiosity stirs. Could that be Jack's new person? Ella had mentioned it just this morning. She has to be in her 40s. What's her connection to Jack? The speculation starts immediately. So that's how he has money. He's being kept by an older woman. And here we thought he was something special. No wonder Ella won't touch him. I wouldn't either. At his age, disgusting. Ella hears them talking and doesn't bother correcting anyone. Ryan glances at Ella. Her silence feels like confirmation. A small wave of relief washes over him. Jack's grades are poor, but the money bothered Ryan. Tens of thousands spent in a single night without a second thought. It never sat right with him. He always felt somehow beneath Jack, and he hated it. Now that it turns out Jack is just being funded by an older woman, suddenly everything feels a lot more even. At least Ryan would never stoop to something like that. He'll get where he's going through his own hard work. Someday he'll have everything Jack has, and he'll have earned it. Ryan and Ella board the bus. "I can't walk you home today," Ella says. Now that tutoring Jack is off the table, she's found a part-time job. Her father's gambling debts are staggering and he's always helped himself to her earnings. Now she has no choice but to earn enough to support herself. "Okay," Ryan says simply. "Mom and Dad take me to get a new phone, then bring me along for dinner." By the time we arrive at the restaurant, Sophia is already there. Sophia lives here in the city with her uncle, who happens to be a close friend of my father's. Tonight is something of an official introduction between the two families. Dad has been trying to make this happen for a long time, but I had always refused, too fixated on Ella to give it any thought. So the dinner kept getting pushed back. Today I showed up willingly. Dad is quietly overjoyed. His son has finally grown up and started listening. Over dinner he and Sophia's uncle fall into easy, cheerful conversation. I sit beside Sophia. I tell her about the bet, that I need to move up 100 places in the rankings. When I finish, Sophia gives only a quiet acknowledgement. I can't tell what she's thinking. "Do you think I was reckless? That the pressure will be too much?" Sophia looks at me. "No. Do you think I can do it? I've been following everything you've taught me lately, but still." "It's fine," Sophia says, meeting my eyes. "Leave it to me. And for the record, you're quite sharp, not nearly as slow as people say." The people she means is obviously Ella. Ella's comments about me being slow. Sophia never responded to them at the time, but she remembered. I smile when I hear it. That's a relief. "Thank you for putting in all this effort with me. It's nothing." Mid-conversation I notice the room has gone quiet. I look up to find both my father and Sophia's uncle watching us. My face goes warm. "Dad, why are you staring?" "No reason. Carry on." Dad goes back to talking with Sophia's uncle, but inside he can't stop marveling. They really do get along well. He was the one who arranged the betrothal, and yet somehow it feels like his own son is being stolen right out from under him. After dinner, Dad and Sophia's uncle have more to discuss. Sophia and I step out first. We don't head home. We find a cafe nearby. I want ice cream, so I go order some. I bring it back and drop into the seat beside Sophia. We pick up the studying where we left off. My head is full of formulas and concepts. 10 kilometers, that would half kill me if I lost this bet. Here you go. The server brings our order quickly. I look up and the server standing in front of me is Ella. I stare at her, taken aback. "What are you doing here?" Ella gives me an icy look. "I should be asking you that. Did you find out I work here and come just to bother me?" Despite how cold I've been acting, Ella is convinced I still have feelings for her, that this is all just pressure tactics to make her give in. Otherwise, she picks up a part-time job and I show up at the exact same place? How could there be such a coincidence? You're reading too much into it. It's just a coincidence. Ella glances briefly at Sophia, doesn't linger, and turns away. She has no interest in wasting another second on either of them. Watching her walk off with that air of superiority, I genuinely cannot figure out what she has to feel smug about. I turn and offer Sophia the ice cream. She shakes her head. "You have it." She reaches over, picks up my bag for me, and walks out of the cafe by my side. I had planned to stay a while longer, but running into Ella here has taken the shine off the evening. Over the next 2 weeks, I study relentlessly. Sophia comes to the Jiang house regularly to coach me. My progress is real and measurable, but every time Ella catches me at it, she can't help taking a dig. "Jack, if you're having second thoughts, there's still time to back out. Just don't come crying when the results are posted. You're distracting me." I frown and shove my earphones in. The monthly exam finally ends. I'm in a surprisingly good mood. I rush home, barely able to contain myself. The results aren't out yet, but I know I did well. Sophia is in the courtyard drinking tea and keeping Snowball company. Snowball has been getting rounder by the day. I come over and scoop Snowball up. "You're here early today." Sophia looks up. "I'm always early. I've been wondering, don't you have anything going on at school?" Ella is top of her school too, and she and Ryan always seem to have something on, but Sophia always seems perfectly unhurried, and she's already here every time I get back. I have a lot of freedom. They don't really keep tabs on me. "So no school activities?" "I don't usually go." "Not even student council?" Sophia shakes her head. "I'll join the occasional competition, but not often." "Why not?" "It's not interesting, and the teachers worry it's not a fair fight. It can discourage the other students." "But I've heard you do compete." "Sometimes." "The same competitions Ella enters. She mentioned you're always there and that you've beaten her to first place more than once. She really can't stand you for it." Sophia picks up her cup and takes a quiet sip. When Ella is competing, she generally makes sure to show up. I'm burning to know how I did, so I go over the answers with Sophia right there in the courtyard. Most of them are correct. My mood lifts even further. When results day comes, the homeroom teacher walks in and runs through the usual praise for Ella and Ryan. First and second place again, as expected. Then the teacher pauses. "There's one more student I want to recognize. Jack." I sit up straight immediately. Ella glances over at me, eyes full of sarcasm. The teacher continues. "Jack's results this time are impressive. He's been at the bottom of the rankings for a long time, but this exam marks a significant leap. He's now in the top 200 of the entire grade. If he keeps this up, he'll do very well in the college entrance exam." Top 200. The whole class stares. Even Ella freezes. She expected me to scrape together 100 places. Getting into the top 200 was never part of the calculation. Honestly, I didn't dare hope for this either. Maybe it's because I suffered so much in my last life that I no longer have any interest in wasting this one. I've been paying attention in ways I never did before. Every day, I listen carefully in class, then go over everything with Sophia afterward. She has a gift for teaching. Problems that once seemed impossible become almost straightforward when she explains them. Effort, it turns out, does pay off. Are you sure, teacher? Jack's scores were terrible before. How could he possibly? I am not mistaken, the teacher says, turning to me with a calm expression. Having a student drag the class average down had been a quiet headache for him. He had no idea I was capable of this. Getting that recognition from the teacher genuinely makes me happy. I catch Ella watching me. So, how did I do? You said I was too slow to learn. 10 kilometers, Ella, don't forget. Ella presses her lips together. She genuinely can't wrap her head around it. Could Sophia really be that good a teacher? After school, Ella has no choice but to run her 10 kilometers. I don't go home. I stay behind specifically to watch. I sit quietly off to the side, watching her from the corner of my eye. Watching her eat humble pie sends a rush of satisfaction through me I can't quite name. It feels good, really good. Ryan stands nearby, watching me with barely concealed anger at how cold I've become. Bree shoots me a look, then leans toward Ryan. Top 200, who cares? It's not like he came first. Acting like he owns the place. Ella got first and she's not half this pleased with herself. Ryan came second for that matter. Ryan's eyes rest on Ella, running laps on the track. A bet's a bet, he says evenly. Ella can handle a loss. So what if his grades improved? Bree says. He still goes home to that woman. The whole thing makes me sick. Stop spreading rumors about people, Ryan says. Ryan, you're just too decent. Bree gives his shoulder a light pat. By the time Ella finishes her 10 kilometers, the sky is nearly dark. She walks back drenched in sweat and looks at me. Happy now? I nod. Good effort. Feel free to bet against me again anytime. I get to my feet and walk out of the school grounds feeling lighter than I have in a long time. The moment Ella watched my figure leave, I felt extremely happy. And I even took small, skipping steps from time to time. The image she has of me is still a lovesick lapdog. But right now I can't even be bothered to glance back. She thinks about Jack and Sophia. Is he actually going to end up with her? They're equally matched in background. If he really does end up with Sophia, the moment that thought surfaces, Ella feels something she doesn't expect, a gnawing irritation, like something that was hers has been taken. Ella. Ryan notices her staring after me and speaks up. You must be exhausted. Here, drink some water. He holds out a bottle of water. Ella takes it. Thank you. She's always perfectly polite with Ryan. You worked hard, Ryan says. Though it is strange, Jack's scores have always been terrible. For him to jump this much all of a sudden, you don't think he